Change leaders leverage strategic alliances. Leadership learning. On 6th of February 1778, the United States and France formalized the Treaty of Alliance, a decision that reshaped the trajectory of the American Revolutionary War and altered the balance of power in the Atlantic world. What began as a fragile colonial rebellion gained credibility, resources, and strategic depth through this act of diplomatic alignment, transforming a precarious struggle into a viable nation-building effort. The alliance emerged from years of calculated hesitation rather than ideological enthusiasm. France, still recovering from its earlier defeat by Britain, recognized both opportunity and risk. Supporting the American colonies invited retaliation from Britain and threatened renewed continental conflict. For the American leadership, reliance on a foreign monarchy posed reputational dangers, ideological tensions, and the possibility of strategic dependence. Yet the realities of prolonged warfare, depleted finances, and limited naval capability forced a reassessment of what survival required. The decisive shift followed the American victory at Saratoga in 1777, which demonstrated to European observers that the rebellion possessed endurance and military competence. This single event reframed perceptions. France no longer viewed the colonies as an aspirational cause, but as a credible partner capable of sustaining resistance. The Treaty of Alliance therefore represented not idealism, but pragmatic recalibration grounded in evidence and context. The agreement committed France to military, naval, and financial support while formally recognizing American independence. In return, the United States pledged not to seek peace with Britain without French consent, binding both parties to a shared strategic horizon. This mutual exposure to risk reinforced commitment and reduced the likelihood of abandonment during moments of pressure. Its consequences extended far beyond the battlefield, forcing Britain to defend a dispersed empire and diluting its strategic focus. French naval involvement proved decisive, most notably at Yorktown in 1781, where British surrender effectively ended major hostilities. The Paris signing formalized a partnership that reshaped global perceptions of power and demonstrated how strategic alignment can alter the course of conflict. Beyond military outcomes, the treaty established an early precedent for modern strategic alliances built on shared interests rather than shared governance systems. It demonstrated that legitimacy, credibility, and timing matter profoundly when fragile entities seek external support. Misjudged alignment can destroy autonomy, yet delayed alignment can guarantee failure. This moment illustrates that consequential leadership decisions rarely offer comfort, only clarity of intent. Strategic courage often requires choosing exposure over isolation, uncertainty over stagnation, and partnership over purity. The treaty was signed by Benjamin Franklin, Silas Deane, and Arthur Lee on behalf of the United States, and by Conrad Alexandre Gérard for France, each recognizing that the risks they accepted would reshape the future of both nations. This moment also reflects the Saculum leadership discipline of recognizing the signal, the point at which capability, context, and strategic necessity converge to make alignment both possible and essential. Leaders who read the signal accurately understand when the risks of isolation outweigh the risks of partnership, choosing disciplined alignment over reactive independence. It remains a reminder that transformation frequently requires courageous alignment under conditions of profound uncertainty. Change leadership lessons. The Treaty of Alliance demonstrates that meaningful transformation depends not only on capability and timing, but on leaders who can articulate a credible direction that encourages others to commit to shared risk and disciplined alignment. Leaders of change establish strategic credibility by demonstrating capability before external stakeholders commit resources, legitimacy, or long-term support under uncertainty. They enable enduring progress when commitments openly expose all parties to shared consequence, reducing opportunism and reinforcing disciplined follow-through. Change leaders privilege contextual readiness and evidence over ideological alignment or moral comfort when making decisions that shape complex change. They use formal agreements and constraints to stabilize collaboration when pressure, fatigue, and competing interests surface during extended change efforts. Leaders of change recognize that validation by credible external actors amplifies internal effort and accelerates the scale and sustainability of change outcomes. Summary leadership quote: "Sustainable change endures when leaders align credible intent with shared risk, disciplined commitment, and timely action that transforms uncertainty into collective momentum. Application. Change leadership responsibility. 1. Articulate a change vision. A credible change vision provides the anchor point when leaders face uncertainty and must choose between isolation and strategic alignment. Just as the American cause gained legitimacy through demonstrated capability and clear intent, modern organizations secure commitment when leaders articulate a future state that is both ambitious and evidence-based. This clarity enables stakeholders to understand what must be achieved, why collaboration is essential, and which trade-offs are unavoidable. A well-articulated vision does not eliminate uncertainty, it frames it, allowing decisions to be tested against purpose rather than pressure. When leaders communicate vision with conviction and credibility, they reduce drift, discourage opportunism, and create the conditions for shared commitment before challenges intensify. This responsibility ensures that long-term transformation remains grounded in legitimacy, disciplined judgment, and purposeful direction. Leadership of change. Final thoughts. Enduring change is secured when leaders articulate a credible vision that provides clarity of direction before complexity and uncertainty intensify. Although modern leaders have unprecedented access to data analytics, artificial intelligence, and predictive insight, the responsibility remains the same. Vision must be timely, transparent, and legitimate to sustain trust and alignment. When leaders define a future state with conviction and disciplined intent, they create the conditions for collective commitment, ensuring transformation progresses through shared purpose rather than pressure or circumstance. Find out more. Change Management Leadership, Leadership of Change, Volume 4.